My name is Anita. Welcome back to your yoga journey, one that intends to empower you towards a sustainable home yoga practice and build your body awareness through that process. I encourage you before diving into each session to take as much time as you have to deepen your awareness of your breath. And by that I mean taking time to notice qualities of each of your inhales, each of your exhales. Start to feel not only how your physical body responds, but also how you respond on a mental level. I also recommend throughout this series that you begin to incorporate a few cat-cows, as shown in the first session, or even some more components of a sun salutation to warm up your body and connect on a deeper level with your breath through movement. It is this practice, this unguided practice, that will begin to incrementally build good habits for you. I hope you're enjoying the journey, and thank you once again for allowing me to be your guide throughout Yoga on the Road's beginner tutorials. It is my most humble honour to share what I have learnt through the practice of yoga with people like yourself. Thank you. Namaste. Our theme of today is the contemplation of whether life feels like a groove or a rut. And often this is determined by your thought impressions, which is also known as samskara. So this is a pattern that you adopt and it's repeated over a lifetime. Samskaras can be positive or negative. And they do have the impact of shaping our day-to-day life. So if it's a positive samskara, they're generally good habits, and they're habits that we repeat regularly and lead to good outcomes. That could be like the way we nurture our body through good diet, it could be through regular exercise. But the paradox of that can also be that these good habits that we create, because they're habitual, they can also become harmful. So that means that when, like, a groove turns to an obsession, for instance, and in yoga that might be like practicing the same pose over and over again, and there's no flexibility in your practice. So what tends to happen is if the same practice is practiced over and over again, it can start to wear and break down your body. So it's the same, I guess, with thoughts. If we have the same thoughts, we create the same responses and familiar patterns, and that sort of cycle just keeps on reciprocating itself over and over again. So the key to that is to always come back to the practice of self-study and just giving yourself continued attention to whether or not the current habit is helpful or it's harming you. So now as you lay on your back, with your arms folded and crossed above your head, your feet hip distance apart and your knees drawn in together, start to bring your awareness to your physical body. For the next few moments, just notice what you're aware of. Is it that you notice the openness in your chest, the energy in the shoulders as your arms fold back and open. Is it perhaps that you can feel the small of your back lifting away from the ground and creating a little space or gap underneath? Just notice what you notice without any judgment whatsoever. And then ever so gently start to shift your awareness now to your breath. Noticing how your breath moves into your body. Feel all the characteristics of your breath. You might even notice that you feel or you're aware of your breath more now in your chest, because we encourage the chest to open. Before I move you into your guided breath, you might like to just unfold your forearms and let your elbows release and just cross the grip of the arms so it feels slightly different. Go with your opposite forearms now on top. And then wherever you're at in your breath cycle, take an exhale. Breathe out through your nose or your mouth. And when you next breathe in, direct your breath all the way down into your belly. Feel your belly expand comfortably. And then as you exhale, release the air from the belly. So draw the navel in towards the spine. Feel the ribs drawing. Feel the release of the exhale through your nose. And then when you inhale, feel the air come down all the way to your belly. Feel the belly expand. As you breathe out, release the navel down towards the spine. Feel the ribs and the rolling towards one another. Feel the exhale, release the nose. Breathe deep down into your belly. You might even feel some expansion of the ribs and the chest. And as you breathe out, release all the air from the navel, drawing the breath in. Feel the ribs drawing, the breath release. Quickly the practice of this breath for 6 more rounds of breath. If your arms are uncomfortable in this position, you've got the option to release the arms to a comfortable position or more comfortable position. Just breathe. Throughout any pauses today in our practice, you might like to draw your attention to the habitual habits of your mind and consider whether they're useful for you in that moment. As you draw in your last few breaths, follow the path of the breath. Feeling the rise and the fall, the ebb and flow. Add any movement that you need to this morning. And then either roll up to seated or rock onto your side. And then we'll start the practice by making our way to all fours. Take one of your blocks, and I'm going to get you to place it on the medium height in between your ankles. Great, great, great. And then come to rest on your hands as well. I might get you to start with your hands slightly more forward of your shoulder lines than you normally would do. All right, let's move through some cat-cows with some variations this morning. So as you breathe in, draw your belly down towards the mat. Draw your shoulders back down and away from your ears. Look forward. As you breathe out, press into your hands, tuck your tailbone down, lift your navel up. Chin tucks in. Breathe in, belly draws forward, shoulders draw down and away from the ears, look forward. Breathe out, tailbone tucks down, your navel draws up, shoulders broaden and your chin tucks in. One more like that before we add on. Breathe in, front of the body opens, your spine contracts, your shoulders draw back. And then as you breathe out, the opposite happens. So really press down into the hands and really draw your navel up. Hold this position and then rock your body forward so your shoulders move out over your wrists. Squeeze the block between your ankles and start to lift the feet off the floor as close as you can towards the sit bones. Slowly lower the block. Shift your weight back so the shoulders move back from the wrists, and let's repeat that process. Inhale, belly draws down. Exhale, round through the spine. Hold that rounding of the spine, rock the body forward so shoulders move out over the wrists again. Grip your mat with your fingers, press the block in between your ankles, lift the feet and the block from the ground. Slowly lower the feet with control. Push all the way back this time so that the sit bone moves back towards the block. Sort of like a modified child's pose. And if it's in your practice, let your head rest towards the floor. If you need support, you can always fold the forearms on top of one another and rest the head. Take 6 breaths here. Inhale, make your way back to all fours. Hands slightly forward of your shoulder line again. We'll move through the last cycle of those before adding on. Inhale, draw the belly towards the mat, shoulders move down away from your ears. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, lift your navel, broaden through your shoulders, rock forward. Shoulders move out over wrists. Grip the mat with your fingers. Press the ankles together, lift your heels towards the sit bone. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower all the way down. As you lower down, shift your body weight back so that your shoulders move back away from the wrists. Tuck your toes under, hover the knees off the mat. You can let go of the brick at this stage. Press down into your hands, lift your sit bones all the way to the ceiling, let the head relax. So you'll notice in your downward dog now that your feet are slightly wider than they normally would be. Just notice how that feels for your body. Is it accommodating? If not, change the feet. You can add any movement at this stage to your downward dog. And we're holding here for 3 breaths. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. And inhale, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Press down into the feet, rise all the way up. Breathe out, hands to heart. And at this stage, you can just reshuffle your feet so that they're below your hips. Take your block onto the medium or highest level, slightly in front of you. And we'll move through 8 to 10 half salutations this morning, but the highlight, I guess, of the pose is focusing on really making sure that the spine is concave. So we're overly practicing this kind of movement. And again, you can make adjustments with your block. So if it's easier for you to feel that concave spine with the higher block, then just take it up 1 level. All right. You'll know when you get there what height suits you. So feet are stacked below the hips, hands are pressed together at the heart. As you inhale, lift and draw the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, soften the knees, fold forward. Hands might come to your block as your chest moves in towards the thighs. Inhale, halfway lift, concave your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees, press down into the feet, inhale, rise all the way up. Feet sweep towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart. Repeat the process. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, soften the knees, fold forward. Chest moves all the way towards the thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Hold the halfway lift with a concave spine. And think about not making the spine so concave that you compromise the neck by looking well forward. Keep the neck fairly soft. Hold here for 1 breath. Exhale, fold forward. Press down into the feet, power up through the legs, engage your core, lift your arms all the way up. Breathe out, hands to heart. Talk through 2 more. Breathe in, arms float up. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift, focuses on your concave spine. Breathe out, forward fold. Press down into the feet, rise all the way up. Breathe out, hands to heart. Move through 4 more with your own breath. As you move, notice whether you're moving with clear intention. So are you aware of the processes that your body is going through as you move? Or is it something that you're just moving through without any awareness at all? Last one. hands meet to your heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Remove your block from the mat. Inhale, halfway lift with a concave spine. Exhale, walk the hands forward, downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths here. Inhale, float forward, come to plank. Exhale, everybody lower the knees here. With the shoulders still above your wrist line or slightly in front of your wrist line. Just as we did with the block, press the knees into the mat, lift the heels towards the sit bones. Bend your elbows, lower the chest all the way to the floor. And then lower the feet back down to the ground. Press the tops of your feet into the mat, lift and engage your knees. Remember upward facing dog last week, how we had to shift our hands down a little bit to get that rise. Move the hands down to the lower part of the ribs. Keep pressing the feet into the mat. Inhale, start to extend your elbows to full extension. Shoulders draw back. Neck is soft. Lower the knees. Tuck your toes under. Lift the legs, press back downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. We'll move through 1 more of those. Inhale, move forward to plank. Shoulders move out over the wrists. Lower your knees to the ground. Shoulders are still forward of the wrists. Heels kick up towards the sit bones. Point your toes. Bend your elbows. Hug the elbows into the side of the waist. Lower all the way down. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Shift your hands a little lower down the ribs. Inhale, lift the chest. Press down into the hands. Slowly start to extend the arms. Press the tops of the feet into the ground. Great. Look forward. Transition either to the toes and plank, or pop the knees down first. Tuck the toes under. Plank before transitioning to downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, jump, walk to the top of your mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. Again, focuses on that concave spine. Breathe out, forward fold. Press down into your feet, rise all the way up. Breathe out, hands to heart. Let's move through a slow, modified salutation. Breathe in, arms float up. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift, concave your spine. Breathe out, step your right foot back, lower your knee to the ground. Check the alignment of your front knee, it's stacked over your ankle. And then inhale, float the body all the way up. Arms lift up towards the ceiling. Take 2 breaths here. Turn your chest to the right, so away from your front leg. Check that your knee doesn't travel all the way with you. You still want the knee tracking out towards the little toe side. And then spread from fingertip to fingertip. Arms are out at shoulder level. Flick your front palm up. And then sweep your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Let your back hand support you, whether it's on the back of your thigh or the back of your calf. And then gently look up the line of your fingers. 2 more breaths here. Use the support of your core to lift you all the way up. Bring your left hand down onto your left thigh. Sweep your right arm all the way back up. And then bow towards the left. So you're feeling an openness in the side of your right body. One more breath here. Inhale back to center. Frame your front foot with both hands. Tuck the back toes under, lift and extend your back leg, and then start to straighten through the front leg as much as you comfortably can. And then you might like to turn this into a forward fold. So just let the chest hang over that front leg. Keep that front knee lifting so that the thigh is engaged. Take 3 breaths here. Lift the chest up and away, concave the spine as much as you can. Bend through your front knee. Your back leg is going to become a spring. Spring forward to halfway lift. Concave your spine. Breathe out, forward fold. Root down into your foundation, which is your feet. Engage the legs, engage the core, lift all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's move through one half salutation before changing sides. Breathe in, arms float up. Forward fold on an exhale. Breathe in, halfway lift. Concave your spine. Breathe out, forward fold. Press down into the feet, rise all the way up. Breathe out, hands to heart. Side B. Breathe in, arms float up. Breathe out, forward fold. As you breathe in, halfway lift, step your left foot back, lower your knee to the ground. Again, check the alignment of the front leg, knee is stacked over the ankle. Inhale, lift all the way up. And then add a degree of concaving your spine here. So that might mean pushing your arms a little further back to encourage a deeper arch in the lower spine. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Turn the chest slightly away from the front leg, so to the left, making sure the knee doesn't move with you. And then extend the arms out at shoulder level. From fingertip to fingertip. Look beyond the line of your thumb, of your right hand, and then flip your right palm up. Sweep the fingertips up towards the ceiling. As you do that, let the left hand drop onto any part of your leg that you feel supported by. Breathe. 4, 3, more, 2, more, 1, more. Use your core to lift the body all the way up. Sweep both arms up. Lower your right hand to your right thigh. And then laterally or side bend towards the right. So then you're creating an openness in your left side. Inhale back to center. Frame the front foot with both hands. Tuck your back toe under. Lift and extend through your back knee. Press back downward facing dog. We're here for a couple of breaths, so make any movement that you need to support you. Breathe in, float forward to plank. Shoulders move beyond the wrists. Breathe out, lower the knees to the ground. Breathe in here. Breathe out, draw the toes up towards the sit bones. Tuck the elbows in alongside you as you lower your chest all the way to the ground. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Tuck your chin in towards your collarbones. Shift your hands slightly down your ribs so they're by your lower ribs. Engage the feet, the legs, press up into upward facing dog. Draw the shoulders back. Press down into the hands, lift the shoulders down away from your ears. And then take your transition to plank, so whether that's the knees coming down first or rolling over on the toes, press that downward facing dog for one breath and then transition into child's pose. So your big toes are together, your knees are wide apart. And rest for 4 breaths. Inhale, come back to tabletop, resting on your knees and your hands. Reposition your knees. Tuck your toes under, press back to downward facing dog. Press down into your left foot, lift and raise your right foot off the ground, 3-legged dog. As you inhale, draw the shoulders forward, tuck the knee in underneath your body and step that foot straight through or assist it with your other hand. Great. And then position your back foot where you normally would coming into warrior one. So for some of you it might be the heel down, for others it's just going to be pressing through the ball of the foot. Inhale, lift the arms all the way up. As you exhale, take the hands behind your back, interlace the fingers, and then press the hands or the fists down away from you, drawing your shoulders in towards one another. Feel how that assists you in concaving your spine. It might even feel similar to when we started the practice this morning with the chest open. Inhale, extend through the front leg. Balance challenge. As you exhale with the hands still interlaced, slowly start to bring your chest forward as far as is comfortable, and as you do that you might start to feel the arms or the fists lead up. I often find with balance that if you look just slightly forward of the line of your right foot, it can help. Hold the pose with your breath. Inhale, slowly start to lift up using your core to help support you. Release the arms, bend the front knee. Inhale, lift the fingertips up towards the ceiling. From here, turn your body to the left, so away from your front leg. As you do that, start to plant the left foot down into the mat, and then we're transitioning straight into warrior two. Arms extend from fingertip to fingertip. Draw your right palm up, Just as we did in low lunge, sweep the fingers up towards the ceiling. Let your hand rest on whatever part of your leg that supports you. Look up the line of your front arm. Two more breaths. Sweep your right arm down. Cartwheel the left arm all the way over. Lower the left hand down to the ground and lift the heel of the left foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Stay here or take a vinyasa. And in vinyasa is just that movement through plank, lowering all the way down. Baby cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, press down into your right foot, lift and float the left leg up and away, three-legged dog. Look forward between the hands, shift the weight forward so that the shoulders move out over the wrists. Tuck your left leg in underneath your body, step or assist that foot forward. And then reposition your back foot where you normally would have it. When you feel balanced, inhale, lift all the way up. Float the arms up. Exhale, interlace the hands behind the back, but this time take your non-habitual link, so it'll feel a little bit different. Draw the shoulders together, extend through the arms as much as you comfortably can. Keep drawing the shoulders together and down away from the ears. Slowly extend through your left leg. Shift your body weight forward, so we're folding over the hips. As you move forward, notice whether a lift in the arms comes naturally to you. Just take that to whatever level you're comfortable with. Notice any differences from this side to the other. Hold or sit within the pose with your breath. Slowly use your core to help lift your spine all the way up. Bend through the front knee. Release the interlace of the hands, sweep the arms up. And then move into warrior two on side bend. So move the chest away from the front leg without compromising the position of the knee. Arms stretch and extend from elbow to elbow. From fingertip to fingertip. Sweep your left palm up. Let your fingertips rise up towards the ceiling and use your back leg as your support. Take 2 more breaths. Lower the left fingertips to the ground. Sweep your right arm up and over. Lower your right fingertips to the ground. Lift through your back heel. Press back, downward facing dog. Vinyasa through to child's pose. Plank position. Chaturanga, lower all the way down. Baby cobra or upward facing dog. Child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart, shift back. pay attention to your feelings, to any thought processes, to any physical sensations that you're aware of. Hold this pose for 3 more breaths. On your next inhale, come back to tabletop position, resting on your knees and hands. Reposition your knees. Press down into your left hand. Sweep your right arm all the way up so that the chest opens out to the right. As you exhale, curl that arm and sweep the arm in underneath your body so it moves in underneath the left armpit. Lower your right shoulder to the ground, lower the side of your head to the ground. And we're going to just extend this pose a little bit longer. So take your left foot and draw it out to the side. I'll move on to the side just in case you can't see. So we're resting on the right shoulder, the side of our right head, and then take your left leg and extend it out. And then you might notice that naturally your right toes want to point towards the left extended leg. So let that happen. From here, if you want to deepen that pose, extend your left arm up towards the ceiling. Turn your palm away from you. Bend your elbow and let the back of the hand rest on the back of the hips or wherever they naturally move to. Take 5 breaths here. To unfold or come out of that pose, extend your left arm up towards the ceiling. Lower that left hand back down, so it's just below your elbow. Press into the left hand. Slowly lift the right shoulder off the ground. Place your right hand back down. Draw your left knee back in. And we'll move to the other side. So press down into your right hand. Lift and extend the arm, the chest, everything up towards the ceiling. We're opening to the left side. Oh, right side, sorry. Have I changed sides on you?
Yeah.
Okay. I've changed my orientation, so I'm really confused. All right. Tuck everything below the body. So sweep the arm in underneath the armpit.
No, you were right.
You have done. All right.
Yeah, we're supposed to do this.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna watch. I'll just watch. But with the legs here, so now the right leg will extend out to the side. That's it. And you might notice that the toes of the left foot naturally want to swing across a bit. You can let that happen to support you. And then if you moved the top arm before into the small of your back, do the same on this side here. Notice if any differences in the shape of the pose, in the physical feel of the pose. Are there differences from side A to side B? Take 4 more breaths. At the end of your 4th breath, come out of this pose just as slowly as you went into the pose. Think about all the movements that you're making. Move through 3 cat-cows when you arrive there. The end of your 3rd cat-cow. Transition to your back. So that your knees are bent, the hips or feet are slightly wider than your hips. Take your right leg and cross your right ankle over your left knee. Draw the left leg in towards you and then interlace your fingers to start with just behind the left thigh. Extend your left leg so the ball of your foot is pressing up towards the ceiling. Draw your toes down towards your shin. And then have a feeling of pressing the back of your left thigh firmly into the interlace of your hands. So it might feel like your shoulders are being stretched down away from your ears a little. Release that. Bend your knee. For some of you, you might like to change the interlace of your hands now so that they're on top of the left shin. It just adds a little bit more release of the right glute. And then if you feel to, you might just like to gently rock from side to side, whatever movement you want to experience here. Hold this pose with 4 breaths. Come back to that breath that we set up at the beginning of practice. So on your inhale, breathe deep into the lower part of your belly, just below your navel. Then as you exhale, release from the belly first, so the navel draws back in towards the spine. Then you feel the ribs knit in together and the air release from the nose. Breathe into your belly. Feel the belly expand, the ribs may expand and the chest even slightly, and then exhale, releasing the air from the belly first. Navel draws in. One last breath like that. Release the interlace of the hands, lower the foot back down to the ground. Uncross the legs, and before you change sides, just take a moment to notice what you're aware of from one side of your body to the other. Take your left ankle, fold your left ankle over your right leg. Draw the right leg in towards the chest. Interlace your hands behind the right thigh. And then extend the sole of the foot all the way up towards the ceiling. Drawing the toes down towards your shin, pressing out strongly through your heel. And then press the back of the right thigh into your hands. You might even start to be able to open the left hip a little more by pressing the left knee away from you. Feel any release here. And then bend the right knee. And again, you've got the option to change the interlace of the hands to the front of the shin if you want. And then notice whether you feel the same intensity on this side as you did the other. Notice where you feel any sensation. Start to notice whether you can use your breath to soften any of those jagged edges or the points that just feel a little more intense than normal. And then bring your awareness back to that breath. So a deep breath into the lower belly. Feel the diaphragm expand. And then as you exhale, draw the navel in towards the spine. Feel the breath exit the body. Take 4 breaths like this. The end of your 4th breath. Lower the foot back down, uncross the legs. Add any movement to your body that you need to before coming into yogi rest. During the practice of Shavasana today, consider that every moment is a new chance to create new thought impressions, ones that serve you in the moment. Now you've arrived at the end of this session, give yourself some time to integrate your practice. Set up your space where you can allow yourself to experience a conscious and restful state. Make sure this space is free from any distractions. You might like to utilize a pillow for beneath your head, a blanket roll beneath your knees so they are slightly bent, and some ambient music. Hit play and surrender your body, mind and soul to stillness. Lay, resting, and tune into whatever sensations your awareness is drawn to for whatever time you have available. Alternatively, if you have your own writing or journal practice, turn to a fresh page, connect pen to paper, and reflect on the movement you have just experienced, including what you noticed during this practice. What felt great in that practice? And also, what did you notice when a pose or movement challenged you? Once again, these unguided practices are helping you set up and create a habit that will support you physically, mentally, and emotionally.